Today I want to get into V potentially giving the middle finger to everyone. I want to get into new rumors of Jung Kook smoking outside a restaurant in LA, and then we get into V being brought up in another group's scandal. So hey Dumplings, it's Dave. Decide hate it or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab your dumpling, it's Hey Spilling Mug merch, and let's go. So recently, V has been brought up in another group's scandal, and this is causing a lot of issues because V actually had nothing to do with it. If you're not aware, the members of Big Bang have been in and out of some issues. The scandals have been pretty shocking and sent shockwaves throughout K-pop, from a weed scandal to a sexual abuse scandal, and just stuff that honestly is very hard to believe was reported, because it's just quite scary to think that an idol would participate in something so abusive. But apparently one Spanish news site reported this story as a sort of list of Korean singers that have been a part of crazy scandals. It was a shock to armies when they used a photo of V, and V was never involved or accused of such a scandal. The only scandal would be a dating rumor with Jennie, and that's not really a scandal as it doesn't hurt anyone. It's not like if the two were dating, this was something that Jennie would not have consent to. But people were upset as more and more foreign media sites like to either put BTS members into things or are just following the somewhat racist rhetoric that all Asians look the same, because they can't differentiate who is from one group versus the other. And then it's not uncommon for a lot of European news sites to accuse BTS members and all K-pop members of looking like women. Like, looking like women is a flat-out racist comment. All Asians will look the same. That is a little more of a gray area, because of course I can understand that a lot of people from different cultures entering a new culture are going to think that everyone from that new culture looks the same. They're not going to notice the little nuances that make a person different. And then the more you get exposed to a certain race, the more you can tell them apart, because the stereotypes of all Asians look alike has never been referred to as to other races. It's rare to hear all black people might look the same. It's because we see them more often. So in 2023, we're supposed to be exposed to so many different cultures, and if you're going out of your way to not have any Asian friends, then that is not good. There's billions of Asians. In fact, the majority of the world probably is Asian if you count Chinese, Korean, Japanese, and Middle Eastern. So if you're actively not seeing those types of people to familiarize yourself with those faces in 2023, then you're actively choosing to not allow Asians into your life, and that's not great. Obviously, everyone here has chosen to allow Asians into their life, so this is not speaking to anyone watching. Of course, the fans got mad because in this case, V's face is being plastered next to an issue that did not involve him, and those who may not be aware of BTS or V may see V in the future award shows or whatever and carry hate in their heart because they believe V has done some bad things. I think the article was changed or taken down, as I cannot find it anymore, but people were saying that Big Hit or Hybe needs to take legal action. What I would like to say is that even though I believe it's not great to not be familiar with Asian faces in 2023, the idea of someone doing this by mistake is not illegal, because even if this were to go to court and have a trial, Hybe or Big Hit has to prove that the media site did this with the intention of hurting V. Meanwhile, the writer or publisher probably isn't even fully aware of anything V has done, hence why they put his face. So it comes as a mistake, and a lot of armies are the first to say that when anything bad happens to BTS, that everyone else did it on purpose. Of course, I'm sure if V saw the article, he definitely wouldn't have been too happy about it and probably would prefer to call someone to do something about it. But once the initial anger calms down, then he'd be able to think and be like, maybe it's just a mistake. And maybe there's no harm done. V has also been very vocal about what has been going on with him personally, and some people think it might be a middle finger to all the haters. So what happened? Well, let me give some context. Jimin posted a photo of V a long time ago. In the photo, we saw V next to what appeared to be a vape. The photo was then quickly deleted once the backlash started, and a lot of people felt like this was confirmation that he smoked, because why delete it? However, the alleged vape in the photo didn't necessarily look like one, and everyone had their own theories as to what it was, ranging from a USB to many other things. Obviously, smoking and vaping in Western culture is not considered a big deal or even a deal. It's something that I'm sure you have relatives that do. But in K-pop, it's a big deal because it makes the idol seem human and it makes them look like they have vices. And of course, K-pop for a long time was catered to just a younger audience, so think of the children. So everyone was defending V. When a more recent Grammy appearance happened, it was believed that during a break, V snuck out to the back with the staff and was smoking a cigarette. His eyes were a bit red from that night, so people thought weed and just a bunch of stuff, all of which are legal in the US, so he did not commit a crime if he was doing either. Flash forward to more recently, some news photos came out where V was photographed at the beach, and this was a behind the scenes photo. And then people were saying this was confirmation, as it really does seem like V is literally holding a vape here. At this point, it becomes tough to deny that he is smoking, but it's really not a big deal at all. He is an adult, and it is very stressful working in the entertainment industry. If you are someone in the industry, you can definitely vouch and say that everyone on set literally smokes. The best way to bond with people on set is to carry a lighter. 9 times out of 10, a director or a powerful person will walk up to everyone and ask either for a cigarette or a lighter, and that's your opportunity to bond with that powerful person, because they will likely stand there and smoke. You don't have to smoke to bond with them, but they're willing to chat and talk with you since you either gave them a cig or a lighter. And that is how a lot of people move up in the industry as well. People were saying that V allegedly having a vape here is him cursing out everyone who insults him for smoking, and basically saying that he doesn't care or giving the middle finger. Now, I can't find this photo on his IG, so I don't think he posted it with that message, but it definitely shows that he and other members probably don't care anymore about the little things and what other people might say about them online. I think the people who are most hurt by this, and they shouldn't be hurt, but those that are have a very interesting image of what they thought the BTS members were, people who have no vices and are literally superhuman, and that's just not a standard they can meet. Them being kind and talented is literally all they need to be. They're not supposed to fit into this box of whatever to make your perfect husband. And I hope a lot of these people do eventually get into a relationship to realize that the person that they love also has flaws, and you should love them with their flaws. This was a huge story recently when Jung Kook was believed to be spotted smoking as well. A paparazzi or news site reported on finding Jung Kook at a restaurant smoking outside. I can't really tell who he is smoking with, but I imagine it might be another idol or a staff member. This became a big issue online because people couldn't imagine Jung Kook smoking, and the previous rumor of Jung Kook having a vape was supposed to be false. Many people were very upset to say that they can't believe he would do such a thing, and there were even people who were very disappointed. Of course, there were still a lot of comments and people who were extremely supportive and loved that Jung Kook was smoking because they thought it was hot, and others who don't love it but try to support whatever Jung Kook does because it's not illegal. I love that Jung Kook is so happy lately, and of course he should be able to do whatever he wants to do. The stress of being an idol is so strong that of course he might feel the need to have something that takes the edge off. The fandom went absolutely nuts to say that the story isn't true because we never see Jung Kook take a puff or blow out smoke. And that is absolutely silly. If we see him with a cig, he's probably smoking. Others say that the photo is photoshopped, and it's not him doing that. And it really takes an interesting crowd to think that these things are photoshopped. Not saying that they are or are not, but there's no proof of either. Others say that there's no way Jung Kook is smoking because he talked about previously in a video that he doesn't like when his father smokes. This was like early debut days, and this is so weird to bring up as a point because it was practically a decade ago. Who looks at a person a decade ago and say that they're still the same person? My life that I've envisioned did not look like this 10 years ago, and I'm really happy, don't get me wrong, but I was so sure I was going to be a doctor. People were very upset and mass unfollowed, but I really don't think it's a big deal. I think if people were to ask Jung Kook about this, it would be that he is stressed, and that would probably be his response. People only start smoking when they're looking for a way to de-stress, and someone offers them a cig as a solution. If anything, we can blame that the job is just so stressful, but to tell him to quit, no, he would not like that. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. I think it's just a lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.